Chrisley can't remember the last time she visited her dad. Inside their tense relationship, Savannah Chrisley has long stood as the unwavering voice of the Chrisley family since her parents Todd and Julie Chrisley entered prison. She has fought tirelessly to defend them, to keep the public informed of their lives behind bars, and to sustain the family's image in the media through her successful podcast, Unlocked with Savannah Chrisley. But in a surprising and emotional revelation, Savannah recently admitted that she can't remember the last time she visited her father, Todd Chrisley, at his Florida prison. The confession has reignited speculation about cracks in the once seemingly unbreakable bond between father and daughter, and raised questions about how the Chrisley family is truly coping behind the scenes after years of turmoil. The statement, which Savannah made during a recent conversation on her podcast, sent shockwaves through fans who have closely followed her family's journey from television fame to federal incarceration. For a family once known for their closeness and humor, the idea that Savannah has grown distant from her father has fueled intense public interest. Her candid admission offers a rare glimpse into the emotional exhaustion, internal conflicts, and evolving relationships that have come to define the Chrisley family's new reality. Todd Chrisley, the patriarch who rose to fame on the reality series Chrisley Knows Best, was sentenced to 12 years in prison in 2022 on charges of bank fraud and tax evasion. His wife, Julie Chrisley, received a 7-year sentence. Their convictions shattered the family's glamorous reality TV image and forced Savannah into an unexpected role as caretaker and spokesperson for her younger siblings, Chase, Grayson, and Chloe. For Savannah, the responsibility of holding the family together while balancing her career, media obligations, and legal battles has been overwhelming. Now, her admission of strained communication with her father highlights just how much the pressure has taken a toll. In the early months of her father's imprisonment, Savannah frequently spoke about her visits to both parents. She shared emotional updates about the harsh conditions, the restricted communication, and her efforts to keep morale high. Fans were touched by her devotion and admired her resilience in maintaining contact despite the pain. But as months turned into years, the tone of her comments began to shift. She started to sound more frustrated, sometimes even disillusioned, by what she described as the reality of navigating the federal prison system and the challenges of trying to maintain a sense of family while living separate lives under constant public scrutiny. Her latest admission, that she cannot recall the last time she visited Todd, suggests that their relationship may be under quiet strain. Savannah's words were not filled with anger or resentment, but with exhaustion and reflection. She spoke about how the endless cycle of media attention, legal battles, and emotional fatigue had changed her. For someone who once described her father as her hero, her statement carries the weight of deep sadness and emotional distance. The absence of regular visits may not only reflect logistical challenges, but also the shifting emotional dynamic between them. The Chrisley's story has always been one of love, loyalty, and faith tested under the pressure of fame and controversy. On television, Todd and Savannah shared a bond that was often central to the show's humor and heart. Their dynamic was built on mutual respect, playful banter, and a shared ambition that often mirrored Todd's larger-than-life personality. Off-camera, however, the last few years have exposed the cost of that bond. The emotional strain of defending one's family against public judgment, the burden of leadership, and the pain of separation. Savannah's journey since her parents' sentencing has been one of both resilience and revelation. Through her podcast, she has been transparent about her personal struggles, admitting to moments of fear, frustration, and loneliness. She has described sleepless nights spent worrying about her family, as well as the overwhelming pressure of becoming a parental figure to her younger siblings while also managing her own grief. Her public candor has earned her both sympathy and criticism. Some applaud her honesty, while others question whether her openness keeps her family's wounds from healing privately. Her relationship with Todd has become particularly complex in this new chapter of their lives. On one hand, she has remained his fiercest defender, calling him the strongest man she knows and vowing to fight for justice. On the other, her recent remarks suggest that the distance, both physical and emotional, has begun to take its toll. Sources close to the family suggest that the communication between father and daughter has grown sporadic, not because of animosity but due to exhaustion and the difficult logistics of maintaining contact across prisons and responsibilities. Todd is serving his sentence in a federal facility in Pensacola, Florida, while Julie is held at Lexington, Kentucky's Federal Medical Center. The distance between the two prisons alone makes it nearly impossible for Savannah to maintain regular visits with both. Add to that her career commitments, her siblings' needs, and her own emotional fatigue, and it becomes clearer why maintaining constant visits has been a challenge. Yet, to fans who have seen Savannah portray herself as endlessly devoted, her confession still came as a shock. Behind the scenes, those close to the Chrisleys say the relationship between Todd and Savannah remains rooted in love, though not without friction. Todd, known for his perfectionist tendencies and strong personality, reportedly still offers his daughter guidance and criticism through letters and limited phone calls. Savannah, meanwhile, has grown into her own woman, more independent, outspoken, and determined to assert her own voice. The evolution of their relationship may reflect not a loss of love, but a shift in power dynamics, as Savannah learns to lead without her father's constant oversight. The tension between them has also been amplified by differing perspectives on how to handle their public image. Savannah has leaned into her role as a media personality, using her podcast as a platform to discuss everything from politics to prison reform. Some insiders suggest that Todd has occasionally disagreed with how certain family matters were portrayed publicly, preferring to keep specific details private. While these differences have not broken their bond, they have reportedly created moments of discomfort and miscommunication between father and daughter. Another factor contributing to the strain is the emotional complexity of guilt, grief, and survival. For Savannah, every visit to her father's prison is both a comfort and a reminder of loss. She has spoken about the pain of seeing him behind bars, the frustration of limited contact, and the weight of knowing that the family's once lavish lifestyle has been replaced by separation and uncertainty. Each visit stirs a mixture of love and sorrow, making it emotionally taxing to repeat. Her recent admission that she cannot remember her last visit may reflect a quiet coping mechanism, a way to protect herself from reliving that pain too often. Meanwhile, Todd's own adjustment to life behind bars has likely affected his relationship with his daughter. Reports from family insiders suggest that he has struggled with the restrictions and isolation of prison life. Known for his charisma and control, Todd has been forced to adapt to an environment where those traits hold little power. Some say his letters to family members are deeply reflective, filled with faith and regret, while others describe moments of tension where his controlling nature reemerges even from within confinement. Savannah, caught between love and leadership, has had to navigate how to support her father while maintaining her own emotional balance. The situation is further complicated by the family's divided dynamic. While Savannah continues to be her parents' public defender, her older sister Lindsie Chrisley remains largely estranged from the family, having had her own complicated history with Todd. Their on and off relationship has been well documented, and though there have been brief reconciliations, underlying wounds remain. Savannah's attempts to balance loyalty to her father with empathy for her siblings have reportedly created emotional tension, forcing her into the role of mediator in a family fractured by both fame and fallout. Still, for all the emotional distance and unspoken strain, there is no indication that Savannah has abandoned her father. On the contrary, those who know her say that her love for Todd remains unwavering, even if their communication has become less frequent. Her remarks about not remembering the last visit may simply reflect the passage of time and the chaos of her daily life rather than resentment or neglect. It may also speak to the painful normalcy that comes with long-term separation, the way families adjust, cope, and move forward even when loved ones are behind bars. Savannah's emotional honesty continues to be one of her defining traits. She has used her podcast to discuss mental health, faith, and forgiveness, topics that often mirror her personal journey. In one episode, she admitted that she sometimes feels anger, not at her parents, but at the circumstances that tore their family apart. She spoke of learning to accept imperfection, to forgive, and to find meaning even in moments of despair. Her openness has allowed fans to see her not just as a celebrity, but as a young woman growing through trauma and transformation. As for Todd, reports suggest that he continues to lean on his faith, writing letters filled with Bible verses and encouraging his children to stay strong. His relationship with Savannah may be marked by distance, but it remains grounded in shared faith and enduring love. He has reportedly told friends and fellow inmates that his daughter's strength is his greatest source of pride and hope. In truth, the Chrisley family's story is no longer about fame or fortune. It is about survival, redemption, and the fragile bonds that hold them together. Savannah's admission of lost time with her father reflects a universal struggle faced by families separated by circumstance. How to maintain love across distance, how to cope with guilt and longing, and how to grow without growing apart. Her journey represents both the cost and the strength of loyalty. While she may not remember her last visit to Todd, her actions continue to show that she has not forgotten him. Every episode she releases, every advocacy effort she makes for prison reform, and every story she tells about her family carries echoes of her father's influence. Their relationship, though tense and tested, is still defined by love, complex, imperfect, and enduring. As Savannah continues to navigate her family's uncertain future, she stands as a symbol of resilience in the face of relentless adversity. Her honesty about the distance between her and Todd reveals not weakness, but humanity. It reminds the world that even the most glamorous families face the same emotional struggles as everyone else. The pain of separation, the strain of responsibility, and the longing to reconnect. The Chrisleys' future remains uncertain, with ongoing legal appeals and public debates surrounding their case. But one thing is clear, Savannah's voice remains powerful. Whether she is speaking from a place of pain or strength, her words continue to captivate audiences and shape how the world sees her family. In admitting that she cannot remember the last time she visited her father, she has not revealed neglect, but rather the complicated reality of love stretched thin by time and circumstance. Their story is not over. It is evolving, marked by both distance and devotion. For Savannah, the path forward may mean redefining her relationship with her father, not through constant contact, but through faith, forgiveness, and the quiet understanding that love does not always require presence. It requires persistence. And for Todd, locked away but never forgotten, the memory of his daughter's voice may be the closest thing to home he has left.